All right, lots to talk about in this episode. I couldn't be any more excited to start the college football season in the upcoming weeks, and I am so excited to get this podcast rolling. Thank you for joining us, and welcome back to Behind the Hog. I'm your host, Sawyer Dillinger, alongside my co-host and mom's first husband, John Dillinger. So let's get into it. You ready for the season?
Man, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. It's been 9 months since we uploaded a video. I just checked that while ago.
Oh, wow.
And I don't remember if we drop out in the last game last year?
Texas. I think we stopped at Texas. We did the preview and didn't even upload the reaction.
I know we did, I think, at least 10 weeks. So we're going to hang in this year. I'm looking for us to have, a better year. We are high on the Hogs for a reason, and I know a lot of Hog fans. I don't know about you, but I always feel, even though we won our bowl game, you still have this trepidation coming. You see all of these players leave, like, Luke has, and Patrick Kudas. Ole Miss took 2 of our best players, and when they leave to end conference rivals, it just makes you sick. And you see all these players go, and then you see all these other players coming in, but you don't know a whole lot about them, And so, usually I don't really get to feeling excited until the time that we're in right now. The last couple weeks of fall camp, you're seeing the press conferences, you're hearing from the players, you're hearing from all the position coaches, you're hearing from the head hog, and man, I just can't help but get excited, for this upcoming football season. Football is just too short. Football season is just too short.
It's not long enough, and it takes forever to get here. 9 months is crazy. I'm right there with you, though. I echo that statement. The offseason's hard because Arkansas loses more players to the transfer portal than any other team, I'm pretty sure, in America, not even just the SEC.
It feels like it. I'm sure there's some other – I bet there's some, probably when you're talking about major power conference, I'd say we're up there.
No doubt.
But I'm sure there's some, other schools from especially lower conferences that
get picked up.
Yeah,
their best players a lot.
But –
yeah, I'm excited, though. It's hard not to get excited watching these press conferences. You see players like Fernando Carmona Jr., who's really excited about the offensive line, and Cam Ball, turning down a lot of money to play for us. That gives you some confidence that these players believe in the program and the players around them and the team atmosphere that they've got going on. I mean, Bobby Petrino, you get excited just because he is who he is. So I'm really excited for this upcoming season. I think it's going to be a turnaround. I'm looking for an explosive offense. I really do think that year 2 under Bobby Petrino, that Taylon Green will have a standout season, and I'm really excited for the offense.
Did you see the reporter asked Sam Pittman the other day? He talked about everybody's excited for year 2 under Petrino, but nobody cares about year 6. He didn't put it that way, but that's the way everybody in the room took it.
Well, that's how he said year 2 under Bobby Petrino brings a lot of excitement. Year 3 under year 6 under Pittman,
not so much.
Doesn't sound as good. Yeah. he said, was there a question in that statement, or what are we doing?
What are we doing here?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he gets called on for any more questions.
Coach was offended, but then he turned it around and he took it with grace and answered the question the guy meant to ask. And I felt kind of sorry for that guy because I'm pretty sure it come out different than the way he was intending it to sound. But that's
well.
Not
he commented on the press conference video that Hogbeat came out on. I'm weird. I'm a fanatic for the Hogs. I read everything. So I went in there and I found him. He commented. He said, "That did not come out right at all. That's not at all what I meant." And I was like, I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, you've got to put some notes or something because that came out so wrong.
Who, with the players, has anybody stuck out to you? That maybe made you a bigger fan of them through these press conferences?
For sure, Cam Ball, just his love for the Hogs.
That was what I was going to say.
And
Like,
just the state and everything.
So last year, I knew Cam Ball was a dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love his face guard that he wears. He's the one that wears that Bane looking face guard, right? And but for some reason, I don't guess I remember seeing him talk much last year.
I don't either.
And I just had this idea that he was probably not as polite and as, but I love that dude.
Yeah.
Watching him, hearing him talk, knowing what he did, turning down the money and to stay here, hearing him talk about his dad who passed away, and man, that guy is gonna be a hog for life. I mean, he's that dude should never have to pay for barbecue in the state of Arkansas.
I guarantee you,
he's a hog.
Lifetime contract with that man. There's no doubt about it. Or actually, probably not, because he's starting his own. He's got his own. Barbecue.
He's the one that barbecues, isn't he?
He wants to start his own business.
I hope, and we're going to get to talking about the different players, but I hope he has a tremendous year.
All-American, first-round draft pick.
He just through these interviews has become one of my favorite all-time football hogs.
For sure, just the way he carries himself, and he's a guy who's going to be successful no matter what. If football for some reason doesn't work out,
you can just tell that
he's
about him.
He's got the business mentality of, I'm going to succeed whether you want me to or not. There's nothing he can falter in. So he's going to be a really good player to watch. I'm excited for him. Hope he has a great season. I know he's going to do it for his dad, so that means a lot. And I'm excited for a lot of players. Cam Ball, Fernando Carmona. He talks a lot. He's very excited. He's just a happy.
I really like Carmona too. Great attitude. But I knew last year. He had. I guess I'd seen him talk a little more than I had Cam.
He's an outspoken
And I had like this idea of Cam. I just thought he was a real serious for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Complete
almost
opposite.
mean because he plays mean.
Yeah, he's two different people.
Yeah. So,
he's
but
Cam
that's what
on
you
the
want.
Outside, but he's Ball on the field.
That's what you want. He balls, buddy.
Yeah, very excited for him though. But there's a lot of different guys. Like I said, Cam Ball, Fernando Carmona. Man, I'm so excited to see Mr. Dirty 30 Monte Harrison play for the Hogs. I can't wait. I mean, just watching him in the practice videos, like he's out there catching balls. They're excited for him. They said he's going to be a big part of the offense, so it's not like he's just going to sit on the sideline and wait for playing time.
I kept pulling for him last year. I kept looking for him. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I wanted to see the old man on the field. I think we're going to get to see him on the field.
We're going to see him
year.
a lot, and I'm excited because he can catch the ball. He can jump. I mean, the wide receivers coach, or maybe it was just Bobby, they were talking about like all of his football skills are off the charts, like his vertical and his long jump and his ability to jump and stuff. But I'm excited to see that 30-year-old man manhandle these kids, and
that's the thing,
and throw some blocks.
I mean, can you imagine being an 18-year-old
this dude could be your dad,
cornerback, and a 30-year-old man just.
And not just a 30-year-old man, a 30-year-old professional athlete, an 18-year-long career in the baseball world. So
that's wild. That's wild. I don't think it was 18 years because that'd mean he was playing since he was 12. But
he's 30, so 18, 30 minus 18.
That'd be 12 years old. You think he went pro at 12?
He could have. I mean, he didn't play college, so he got recruited right out of high school.
Now I'll say this: Sawyer was homeschooled, but look, I didn't teach him in math. That I don't know.
Go ahead and get us off with some.
Well, so we was talking about transfers. I think we had something like 34 incoming transfers this year, which that type of roster turnover would just make you sick. But that's the world that we're living in. In the NIL world of transfer portal, there's no limit on it. Mm-hmm. You can just come and go. They need to change that. All the coaches want it changed. I think you ought to have a one-time, just free. First time, you ought to just be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But then after that,
gotta have some.
You're gonna have to sit out a year, or they're gonna have to go back to that because it's just chaos, and especially, and they could do some things. For instance, like not let you transfer after spring. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's again so hard. You go through spring football and you think, okay, this is my team. I got all these guys, and then I got these guys coming in the fall, and then the transfer window opens, and you may have some star players just leave, and now you got to go back and get. So, that's wild. The Hogs went after players. They had to fill holes in pretty much every position group.
Board, yeah.
I know they brought in like 9 spring transfers. They've got some standouts there. Do you want to? How do you want to get into talking? Do you want to talk about each position, or what do you want to do about that?
Well, we can kind of go with I do think it's probably smart to do offense and defense separately.
Okay.
But
so I just made a few notes in introduction about just like some guys that stuck out. Julian Neal, Philip Lee, Mike Washington. I think he's going to be a stud. They're talking about him. He's going to be a big play, guy.
He's got the breakout ability and the 5 yards every single time he's going to run.
Yeah,
is what they've been talking
But
about.
got the ability to hit a home run every time.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that as much. I mean, we've had real good backs. I mean, I think the Razorbacks is Razorback U, or at least one of the strongest contenders for that. Maybe not as much lately, but if you think about, I mean, there was a stretch there in the 2000s where it'd be hard to beat. I mean, you had Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis, Nile Davis.
Alex Collins was really good.
I mean, he was one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Mike Smith.
Yeah, we'll forget a few names.
Broderick Green. I mean, there was just tons. Dennis Johnson.
Yep.
I mean, just Raleigh Williams. I mean, just
Cobbs. He ran a little bit. He was mostly a receiver, but he ran some. Cedric Cobbs.
Mm-hmm.
He ran some. Houston Nutt was talking about it.
Cedric Cobbs is one of the best running backs of all time, but he was in the 90s.
Oh.
I think.
I thought he was a receiver, and he just ran some.
No, that's CB4, man.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
I mean, if you want to keep going back, Madre Hill, Chris Shakuma. I mean, we've had some fantastic ones. But, Braylon Russell was a guy that I thought was going to break out and be a stud for us last year. He was on the verge.
He had some really good
games.
And
then we had all that transfer portal drama with him.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he come back.
I was going to say.
I'm fine with,
I was going to introduce him. So before you get there, very excited about this player. Arkansas gets Braylon Russell out of the transfer portal from Arkansas. And then again, and I think again, so 6-time Arkansas Razorback Braylon Russell comes back to play for the Hogs.
Speaking of running backs that we got back, A.J. Green's another one.
Yep.
Brought him back from Oklahoma State to play in the defensive backfield. He was going to play safety or something, and
made his way.
Yeah, and I guess he made his way back to the depth chart, and I think they've actually got him listed third. I believe the running back depth chart, they've got Braylon 1, Washington 2. I think that's going to flip-flop.
If it's not yet.
AJ 3, and then Rodney Hill 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Rodney's the little, real fast guy,
He's
right?
super fast. He was
real
Florida
productive.
State transfer.
Yeah. He was productive. He was one that I didn't like the way they used him last year. I'm the type that, like, I feel like last year, and of course I'm not. I mean, Bobby Petrino, I'm sure, knows which running back he's calling plays for. But I would think the smaller, super fast guy you would want in the longer stretch of the field, and then you get down there in the red zone, you put in your big guy, and they did the opposite, and it didn't work most of the time.
Didn't make much sense either.
But I'm high on Rodney Hill. I think we've got an outstanding running back room.
Yeah, if any of them go down, I'm fully confident that the next man up is going to make some big plays. Braylon Russell, I'm excited for him. AJ Green, he had a really good game against Texas A&M the year we beat them. He made, I think, one or at least one, if not 2 touchdowns, and he's super fast. He was one of the fastest guys on the team when he was here, so I'm excited to get him back. He's going to be a good player there. He was I think he was a state champion in track, so he's a fast kid.
Who's that?
AJ Green.
Oh yeah,
in Oklahoma.
I was thinking about Julian Neal. Wasn't he the cornerback we brought in that was like super, super fast?
I haven't heard much about Neal.
Heard
a lot about Philip Lee.
Who's the one that is going to be who's the one that come in from UAB? That was Shanks.
Yeah, Cam Shanks.
I think he's that's one thing that's been missing the last few seasons for the Razorbacks is a real threat at kickoff and punt return. Somebody like I think of Joe Adams.
Yeah,
somebody that was just a human highlight reel and able to really change things on the special teams. And our special teams has been, a little bit down. Last year I felt like they rebounded was a little better, but I mean, the problem with last year's
kicking.
Yeah, the kicking. We lost Cam and we didn't have anybody. But I think our special teams is going to be better. I'm looking and thinking when of course we're high on the Hogs, but just at hearing the talk, it sounds like the offense is firing on all cylinders.
Oh, yeah.
The defense, it sounds like we've got some studs, but they're just not just haven't gelled yet as a unit because they're giving up a lot of big plays to the offense. You hope that just means your offense is amazing.
That's what I'm hoping for.
But, I'm also
cautious.
A long-term Razorback fan.
Yeah, so we know we've seen that 2019 secondary.
But if we can just be better in all three phases of the game, special teams, we've got a kicker that he may not be Cam Little, who just kicked the longest field goal in NFL history.
Unofficial, of course, unfortunately.
But I think he's going to make a big difference on the team.
That, though, is crazy. 70 yards. That means from the kickoff, Trevor Lawrence has to throw the ball 25 yards for them to kick a field goal. That is absolutely wild.
You going to try to get Cam in our draft?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a fantasy.
You're not going to be able to
year.
get him. You know why?
I'm drafting him first round.
Oh, that's great.
I got the third pick. I'm picking Cam.
You may get him then. I was going to say Caleb would probably draft him.
Caleb or Landon. Landon wants him real bad. He'll probably they'll.
You can't use your first round pick on a kicker.
Caleb did last year. He got the I can't remember that guy. I don't remember his name. He's the kicker for the Eagles though. But yeah, he drafted first round kicker, second round defense. I was like, what are you doing?
And he finished where?
Second last.
Almost last,
yeah. He was higher than John Patrick though, who chose all Chicago players. So
all right, so do you want to kind of go position by position?
Yeah,
or you got some other notes you want to say before we get into that?
Just a couple. I prepared mostly for the pick'em, so I'm a little everywhere here. But I mean, obviously, you talk about your impact players. Who are you most excited to see?
Our man in the booth, John Tillman, just chimed in. It was Justin Tucker.
Yeah,
trying
Baltimore,
to think of.
Not the Eagles. I couldn't think of. He's like the best kicker in the NFL. That's all I could think of. But yeah, so I mean, when you think of your impact players, I'd be remiss if I didn't immediately mention TG10. I mean, Taylon Green. I really do. I mean, I'm not going to say I expect a Heisman performance season. I expect something close to it. I think he is. I do really think he's going to completely turn around this offense. I think it starts with him. He just looks like a veteran. He's comfortable out there in the pocket. He's not having to scramble as much in practice, which is a testament to our offensive line and the work that they're putting in, but also his comfortability. I really hope, and of course, you want that player that he feels comfortable to go to often, but I hope we don't have an Andrew Armstrong situation this year where Isaac Teslaw is open 80% of the time and he's just staring down that one player. So, it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. He's throwing the ball out to a lot of different people. You hear them talk about Monte catching, 40, 50-yard touchdown passes, and then Omega Blake's having good practices. We have a lot of hope at wide receiver, which was by far our most depleted room. We lost more receivers to ineligibility and transfers than anywhere else. You lose. The thing is though, the players that we lost in the transfer portal didn't do much. So, it's hard to feel bad about that because,
No, there's sometimes where you gain by losing,
Yes, yeah. So, the most notable player
Addition
was
by
Desmond James, probably, who went to Cal, and he only had that one.
He had one,
game.
He was he may turn out to be fantastic. They showed his body transformation and stuff like that, But
they're doing steroids up there at Cal.
he had that one great game,
yeah,
and then
it was the only game he played.
Whatever.
So it's hard to feel bad about that, but yeah. So I expect Taylor Green to have a fantastic year with the receiver group, especially under year 2. Bobby Petrino. You hear that line lots and lots because it's true. Arkansas went 7-8 to 11-1 or 10-2 in his second year. So his offense is much better once you have built the knowledge in his offense, because he's got one of the most complicated offensive schemes in college football. So that's the difficulty part. When you have so much transfer and out, you get all these new transfers. Well, it's going to take 2 years for them to really learn the offense. So that's the most complicated part about it. But also, it pays off really well, as we've seen in years past. So Taylor Green, obviously, like I said, 6-time Razorback Braylon Russell, I'm excited to see. He appears to be getting a good majority of the snaps alongside that New Mexico State transfer, Mike Washington. He's a big dude. He's going to be a really good running back for us. On the defensive side of the ball, really excited to see, obviously, the big name. Steven Dix Jr. is going to have a big game or big season. They call him Swole. That dude looks like 2 grown men. I mean, he's a big guy. He's going to be great at that linebacker position. Quincy Rhodes, I'm excited for him to have another good season. I mean, he's been a staple for us. Shaq, Big Shaq, that dude is.
Yeah.
That's a big guy.
If he plays up to his potential,
mm-hmm.
That offensive line is going to be hard to handle. When you're moving Carmona, to play guard,
mm-hmm.
because you've got so much good talent at the tackle position. That's
saying something.
So the only place on the offensive line that I'm not really worried about it. I think we're going to be great at tackle. I think we're going to be great at guard. It's that center position, which is so important.
Mm-hmm. Is it Branham? Is that who's playing there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want, well, they've got Kittler and Caden listed in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, I think Caden is Caden Branham.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't know. But, yeah, Kittler, I'm not familiar
No,
with
that
him,
is – that's him. That's one person, Caden Kittler.
Yeah, they do military backwards. But, yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of people to be excited about.
Yeah, I haven't heard as much about the center position.
Yeah. I just, Pittman's been a lot more involved this offseason with the offensive line, and so I feel a lot more confident with that. So I don't think I'm very worried about really any of the offensive line positions. I haven't heard a whole lot about Caden Kittler, but I mean,
Branham is right. He's first string right guard. Kobe Branham.
Right guard. Yeah, Kobe. That was his name. We got Kobe and Shaq on the offensive line.
Yeah.
So
bringing the Lakers back.
If they're calling it the Lake Show on the offensive line. But yeah, if Shaq can play up to his size, like as big as he is, if he can be as good.
Corey Robinson.
He's a big dude.
I mean, that was a huge get for us.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-star out of high school, highly rated. He had a lot of honors and award watch lists and stuff. So I'm excited for him. He's going to be a really good player for us. Who was that Oregon transfer? We got a player from Oregon.
That was Shaq.
That was Shaq? Okay. Yeah, he's huge, dude. Hearing Trey Biddy talk about, I mean, he's like the biggest player he's ever covered. That's saying something. Trey Biddy's been doing this for forever. So, but yeah, so just alongside Steven Dix Jr.,
Xavier
Sori. I mean, the Georgia transfer, second year for him or second or third year for him. He's gonna. I mean, he's so smart. His football IQ is so high that he's going to have a great season. So I'm really excited. There's a lot to be excited about in terms of player wise for the defense. It's just, hey, can they mesh well and gel right when the time is right? Because that's the most important thing. So yeah, there's a lot to be excited about with these players.
So let's I'm going to go through, give you a couple of thoughts on each position. You just chime in as you want. I'm just going to give you a couple of guys to look for at each position. So start with quarterbacks. Obviously, number 1, Taylor Green. You've talked a lot about him. I think this is that season where we're going to see him start to resemble the Bobby Petrino player that was my quarterback last year.
No. Oh wait,
Lamar
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
we're going to see him step up and really start to play, like the way he's compared to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
If he can play at 80% of Lamar Jackson, I mean, that's better
If
than
he can play 60% of Lamar Jackson.
But
that's a
behind
Heisman.
him, KJ has been getting a lot of, talk. And so I'm excited to see him. I hope we get to see him, pretty early in the second half of that Alabama.
I think we'll see him quite a bit this season.
Who's the first game? Alabama A&M.
Yep. Bulldogs.
I hope when we're watching the A-State game, I hope we get to see him early in the second half of that game.
See him in person would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him. I think the future's bright for the Hogs. We're high on the Hogs, so it's easy to say that from my perspective. But, you get real worried when your quarterback's at his last year. Who's the next man up? I'm not worried really at all. I'm very high on KJ Jackson. I think he's going to be a great quarterback for the Razorbacks.
So in the running back spot, they've got Braylon listed number 1, but my 2 players that I'm looking forward to seeing is Mike Washington Jr., transfer from New Mexico State, unbelievable speed, unbelievable strength and power.
Mm-hmm.
They say he's got moves like Jagger, and he's breaking off 90-yard runs. I can't wait to see that. And then I'm kind of excited to see A.J. Green. I'm excited that he's back.
Mm-hmm.
I was intrigued to see him play, safety or defensive back, but I always thought he was an underutilized running back. I really thought he was very, very capable. And so you got Braylon on top of that, you got Hill on top of that, and you got other guys. So
that's what I like about our running back room the most is every player is so drastically different in their approach. Mike Washington is kind of the embodiment of all of them. Braylon is just I'm going to punch right through you, run straight through you. He's a guy who's going to get a lot of playing time, especially closer to the red zone where you've got, you got to get your power in there. Rodney Hill is just, he's like 5 pounds soaking wet, but he's super quick, so that he's all speed. So you've got those 2 different players. Mike Washington's kind of a mixture of both, where he's built now. He's gonna put the hammer on you, but he's also got that catch me if you can speed. And then AJ Green, he's kind of right there with him as well, where he's pretty big, so he's not going to be someone who's going to go down after the first contact, but he's also got that breakaway track star.
Got
speed.
good hands too. Wide receivers, I'm really excited about this group. Last year it was pretty much a one-man show. It shouldn't have been, but it was. Like you said, it's a shame Isaac Tesla. Look at what he's doing in the NFL preseason right now.
He's going to play for the Lions. There's no doubt about it.
He should have been targeted, 5 to 10 times every game.
Absolutely.
But anyways, this year I do think Taylor's going to spread the ball around better, and he's going to have some real good athletes to do that. We've talked about Cam Shanks, who's going to be, I think he was the number 1 kick returner in the nation last year, All-American out of UAB. Omega Blake is the name, but I'm excited about the old man.
I am too.
I want to see the old man
I hope that he
dominate these young boys.
Devontae Adams for the Hogs. I
Monte
hope he has
Harrison.
a crazy season. I really do, because, just him talking about coming back and his decision to come play again, and it's really for his kids to show, hey, even though he's already lived out one of his dreams, you don't have to stop at that. He wants to keep going. He was a 4-star recruit going to the University of Nebraska out of high school, and then last second decided that he'd go play for the Brewers or the Marlins or whatever MLB team he went to. But I'm really excited for him. I think he's going to have a really good season.
We go to the tight end position, which is a position that Arkansas in the past has always had really good tight ends.
We are a tight end university.
Last year, Luke has. He was really good, but he didn't get targeted much.
Mm-hmm.
Posca was the guy last year that stepped up and impressed me. I'm looking forward to him having a better season.
I think he had 2 touchdowns at Mississippi State game. So
yeah,
he can
so don't sleep on Posca. But Rohan Jones, the transfer from Montana State, looking to have a big season. But you got Jaden Platt, you got Maddox Lassiter, so I think we improved in that.
I do
that room as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The tight ends is a position that I don't think we've ever had to worry about at the university because, I mean, there's so many great names to name. I mean, you think of DJ Williams, you think of Hunter Henry, you think of these great athletes that Arkansas has had. I mean, I'm not going to list all of them, it'd take all day. But, yeah, we've always had great tight ends. And I was really, I mean, as soon as the season ended and Ole Miss started siphoning every player that Arkansas had, I was down. I was like, well, Luke Cass, because, I mean, you know, out of Bixby on the Oklahoma, he was a really good get for the Hogs. I thought he was going to be a great player. But like you said, you know, you get some transfers and you keep Andrew Postka. I think we're going to have a really good season for the tight end group as well.
So the tight end room is probably the only one so far that I don't think you can say we definitely improved it.
Yeah.
But we may during the season we may say, okay, yeah, we actually got better there too.
Yeah.
But as far as quarterback room, I think we're better because we brought back our top two quarterbacks.
Running back room is for sure.
Running back room, I think, is better, even though it was good last year.
Yeah, Jaquindon Jackson was a good player.
I think it's going to be better.
He just could not stay healthy. So
wide receivers. So I'm going to watch the tight ends. I want to see those guys step up, get the ball. All right, offensive line is a room that I think we definitely got better in, and it's that room that we were all, when we saw Kudus leaving and all that, we were all like, oh, here we go again, you know. But like
it was bad enough them playing. It got worse when they started leaving.
Yeah, but when we saw guys like Shaq McCrory coming in, like you said a while ago, the biggest guy,
6'8", 3 whatever, just huge mountain of a man.
You know, that Dan Skipper size. You know,
yeah.
And see what he's doing for the Detroit Lions. Caden Kittler coming in.
The Detroit Razorbacks, you mean? I think they got most of us now.
Yeah, they always
Frank
got a few.
Ragnow, Isaac Teslaw, got a couple defensive guys. Yeah, the Detroit Razorbacks.
Kittler, we got one. I like to steal one away from Gus Malzahn. We got him from UCF. Yep. But Corey Robinson, the second from Georgia Tech, I think is the guy that's going to show off early in the season as a big-time get for us at that tackle position. I think he's really going to be that anchor that just, establishes. And like I said, I like our two deep at every position other than center. That's the only one that I'm not real, familiar with those guys. Yeah. But at every tackle and guard position on the offensive line, our two deep, I think, is better than it was at every position last year.
I agree with you there.
So then we go over to the defensive side of the ball, the linebackers. And linebacker is a position that Arkansas always has found guys that were a little bit undersized, but their hearts were huge. Guys like Tony Bua, guys like Sam Elijah Butu in the past. We've always had dogs there.
Yep.
The Henry guy.
Hayden or
one of the Henry boys.
Hunter, Hayden, and there's another
one of the Morgan boys.
Yeah, Grant Morgan.
And who was the other one? We had three.
Big Bumper
Pool. I mean, those are the recent, linebackers. But, this year with Dix and Sorey, and we're going to be playing three linebackers a lot. I'm interested to see, who that third one is. Is it going to be Whalen? Who's it going to be getting the majority of the reps? But I want to see some linebackers with, up there. I'd like to see us have two guys with 100 tackles, or right there at it.
Yeah.
Singletary, I think, is going to be a big, him coming back. I thought he was a stud.
He's a football player.
Yeah. So, and then we go to the defensive back, room. I think Larry Worth is a guy.
He's gonna lead that
maybe
defense.
Pound for pound the strongest man on the team. they talk about
in terms
him.
of his weight.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
what I'm saying, pound for pound.
Absolutely.
Um,
One of for sure.
and then we've got a couple of transfers, Julian Neal and Jordan Young. Julian Neal from Stanford, Jordan Young from Cincinnati, both guys that they've been talking about throughout fall camp as being huge gets. It looks like we're better at the linebacker room. Looks like we're better in the defensive backs. Again, you got guys like Larry Worth back there, Miguel Mitchell coming back.
Yep.
Caleb Wooden. So
I wonder if that Mitchell boy he ain't related to the two Mitchell boys from the basketball team.
The basketball team? Nah, I don't know.
Is he the triplet there?
It'd be a big linebacker.
Yeah, that'd be a real tall linebacker for sure.
But then but then just the defensive line, and I'll be honest with you, we've always, we've had some great defensive linemen in Razorback history, but we've never had. It seems like it's always one stud, and then
some
2 or 3 other
okay
real
players.
good players, but I don't remember ever having like a stud on each end that would just eat you up like those old Alabama defenses and all that. And, from what we're hearing, if Justice Boone is the player that the team and because every coach gets up and talks about
every
him,
one of them.
every player talks about him. We know Cam Ball.
We know
and if he
gonna
stays
be there.
healthy,
Yep.
I think he's going to have a better season than Landon Jackson had last year.
Yep.
Last year, but if he can get Justice Boone, if he's playing the way everybody talks about him playing,
we're going to create some pressure. For these
maybe
quarterbacks.
maybe we'll be able to get that pass rush, get in the backfield,
force some
create some
interceptions.
havoc. You've got your linebackers coming in, filling the gaps and maybe getting through. T. Will likes to throw in some safety blitzes.
They've
and
been
some
talking about a lot
stuff
of blitzes
like that.
this offseason.
So I'm excited. I think we're probably going to be better, at least from what we're hearing and on paper, defensive line. So of all the positions, and not going to go through special teams more than what we've already talked about with the addition of the kicker, the kick return.
I do
guy
like
and
the
all
kicker though. He's a number one kicker out of high school.
Number one kicker in all of high school.
I think it's
he
Kyle
was number
Starzyk
2
or
in one of the things, but
Yeah.
I mean either way, he was number 1 in
Right there.
some. So got the number 1 kicker coming in. They've had him back, in this these exhibitions or scrimmage games. They've got him back there kicking 50, 60-yard field goals and stuff.
He's putting them down. We still got Bell. He's still the punter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, shouldn't get any worse
Devin Bell.
at the kicker or at the special teams position because like I said, last year was just an atrocity with the Ramsey and Shipley situation we had going on in that Oklahoma State game that completely just hopeless. It felt like for the kicking position, but I think we're going to be good there. I really do. I think we've, there's a couple positions where you might not say definitively we are better, but overall, I think player wise, we have gotten better at every position, just about for sure.
They've got Shanks listed punt return. I thought they had him as kick return. They've got Rodney Hill, number 1 kick return, Shanks number 2. So, but they'll split back there.
They'll be back there. So
on the depth chart, they list Rodney number 1 as kick returner, and then they flip that on punt return. They've got Shanks listed number 1 and Rodney Hill number 2. I like Rodney Hill in that position. I want to see what he can do. That's what I'm talking about. You put your faster guy in a situation where he's got a lot of field to get down. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, lots to be excited about. In closing, I guess there's just one more position that we can talk about, and you hate to have talks about firing your coach before the season even starts, and I don't want to. So I preface this: I'm a Pittman fan, but you
sound like this guy in this press conference.
No, I'd be remiss if we didn't. It's year 6 or 7. And I think he's going to be fine. I think we're going to have a great season. But there's just lots of talk about Arkansas's head coach position with interest from these different coaches. So, just put bias aside because we're big.
Well, the
Pittman
SMU
fans.
coach is trying to steal the job.
He
You knew
is,
that,
and
right?
and that's what I was going to say here. Like I said, you don't want to talk about it, but hypothetically, there's a few different coaches right now that we could go with. If Pittman retires at the end of the season, whatever. So, you've got different coaches that you could go for. You see the clip of John Gruden talking about he had died a
All
coach in the SEC.
Listen here, young whippersnapper. I have been hearing John Gruden to Arkansas for 25 years.
It's the first time I've ever heard it in my entire life.
20 Guys, now's your chance. Tell him the old man knows something here. John Gruden to Arkansas has been a rumor for 25 years. It's never going to happen. And if it did now, what are you getting? You're getting a guy that's been out of coaching for several years and has never coached college kids. That's the problem with Gruden. I think John Gruden 15 years ago would have been an excellent choice. I remember after Nutt got fired or resigned. I think he didn't technically get fired. I think he left for Ole Miss. I was the number one John Gruden, fan club. Yeah, I mean, let's get Gruden. He had ties to Arkansas. His wife was from Arkansas. All this stuff. He'd coached at Arkansas before under Lou Holtz. Always had positive things to say about us, and then after that fell through, every coach since Houston Nutt, it's John Gruden's coming.
I've never heard this before, and I wasn't saying that that's my pick. I'm just saying that's
an old rumor.
That's the big talks right now.
It is ramped up now because he's not coaching anywhere, and he has said he would like to coach in the SEC.
No, he said he'd die.
I thought you was going to say Nick Saban was going to come coach the Hogs.
That's the rumor around town. Nick Saban coming back for his 100th year in coaching.
So now you just joking.
So
we're going to close with a joke.
National championship at LSU, national championships at Alabama. Come give us one.
Oh, I would love to have him, but
realistically, he's not going. I don't think it'll be John Gruden. If it's a coordinator, do you think Arkansas could, I don't know if it's a legal issue or whatever.
So let me tell you this. Here, I think the Razorbacks are going to have a great season. I don't think Sam Pittman's going anywhere.
I'm with you on that. This is just a podcast.
But I thought the other
part
day
of the show.
Is there a scenario where Sam could be fired in the middle of this season?
Yeah.
The only scenario I think
Arkansas State.
That he could be fired.
I'm ruining your whole mojo going right now.
And actually after a game would be Arkansas State.
You're gone.
Gone. And here's why. Arkansas does not have an in-state rival. Arkansas State would love to be our in-state rival, and they feel like they're our in-state rival, but we play different level ball than they play. Yeah.
This is D1 and D2 almost.
I mean,
not quite,
but us living right outside of Jonesboro, you don't remember this, but back when it was the Indians, the Indians had some good teams back in the they had a great team in like the 68 or 69 season was like undefeated and won the Pecan Bowl. Coach Walazonia from here in Truman was on that team. I think maybe Coach Greenwell too. There was some great Arkansas football players on that team. They had some good teams in the 70s and 80s. There were the Indians, and all these Indian fans had these bumper stickers that said, "How long will the Hogs run?" And it had a Runnin' Joe chasing a Razorback.
Yeah.
And but the two teams have never played. And we're going to play this year. We're going to that game.
Yep.
High on the Hogs will be we'll probably do a couple live videos,
Yeah.
maybe one right before kickoff,
Mhm.
and then a reaction.
Got a lot better podcast equipment this year for these games.
We're not going to continue this rivalry. It doesn't seem like rivalry. We're not going to continue this game unless, according to Sam Pittman, Arkansas State wants to come to Fayetteville
every year
to play it. And if they're willing to do that, he seemed to be willing to play it. Now, if I was Arkansas State, I would take him up on that.
100%.
You're going to make more money. I don't know if they're splitting the gate. I doubt it, but they may be splitting the gate at War Memorial. But
it wouldn't be 50-50. Arkansas State's going to make more money.
Arkansas State is?
Well, we have to pay them to play, don't we, because they're such a small school?
Yeah, but they're not going to make more money at War Memorial than we are.
Well, no, just ticket
and
everything, but yeah.
No, I think they would probably make more money to come and play it at Fayetteville because they're going to be playing in front of 20,000 more fans. But then also, you don't have to –
way more than that.
No, War Memorial's about 50, and then the Razorback Stadium's a little over 70.
I thought you meant like talking about going to Jonesboro, Centennial Bank Stadium.
That bank. There's no way if I was the Razorbacks I'd go to Jonesboro and play.
No.
And that's what Sam was talking about.
Yeah.
He don't want to play in Little Rock, and I don't blame him. And he's not going to go play it in Jonesboro, and I don't blame him. But if I was A-State, I would take that deal. 100%. I'd be like, we'll play you every year at Fayetteville. Because you don't have to beat them every year. And every year you lose, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're playing an SEC school. It's an in-state. Nobody expects you to win.
Program.
But one out of every 5 or 6 years when you do sneak up and get them, or one out of every 10 years, that's a big-time thing. So I was going to say, since we're only guaranteed to play the one game, and it's the second game of the season. If they was to falter and lose that game, I think there is a scenario where Hunter Yurachek would go because he's going to get unloaded on.
I mean,
by the fan base if they lose that game.
The administration,
the boosters,
the college,
the big time,
the governor. I mean.
So. If they was, and I don't think they will, but if they was somehow lost that game, I think there is a scenario where Sam would be fired, and then I think Bobby Petrino would be the head coach and would coach the rest of the season. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad scenario, but I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I don't either.
I want the Hogs to have
Could you imagine for the rest of time, Arkansas State has an undefeated record.
Right. You don't want them
They would never play us again.
Well, no, you don't want them winning the first game.
Yeah.
You don't want any of that to happen.
That would be a catastrophe.
Yeah. So that's the only, I think you wanted to bring that up just out of fun and stuff. But, no, I think the Razorbacks, I'm looking for them to have a good season. I'm looking for Sam to keep his job and, maybe retire. If they have a great season, I think it might be good for him to retire. But he may have a lot of fire left in the, And
he wants to coach here. He's not. He ain't ready to retire.
He may want to win a SEC championship. I don't know. I mean, you have to be an alpha personality to get this job.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people think that Sam's just this big old golly gee, guy. He's got to be a pretty salty dog to be in that position, to be in it for 6 years, so I'm pulling for the Razorbacks, and I like Sam Pittman. Do I think he's the best coach in America for the Hogs? In my opinion, probably not, but in those players that are on the field, I think the majority of them think he is, and so that's who they signed to play for. And, I'm not one of the fans that pulls for the Hogs to lose so we can get rid of the coach.
I'm not either.
I hate that.
I hate that a lot. Like I said, I'm excited for Pittman. I want him to coach here until he wants to be done.
I'll give you a scenario. When John Pelfrey was the head coach at Arkansas, I thought he was
never heard
the
that name.
Worst hire I'd ever seen.
Man, how old
probably no. This guy wasn't that long ago. He was a Florida assistant that was coached under Billy Donovan that got this job, And there was an SNL skit where Will Ferrell was playing George Bush, and this skit, it was like his second day on the job, Bush's second day in office, and the whole country was on fire, and he was in the White House barricaded and all this stuff. And that's the way John Pelfrey seemed at Arkansas.
Yeah.
It was, his interviews didn't make any sense. I mean, he always looked like he was going to throw up on the microphone.
Joe Biden?
But yeah, but even then, I wasn't pulling for the Hogs to lose so that we would get rid of him.
It doesn't make sense. Why would you want your team to lose?
No, I want our team to do so good that guy gets hired to somewhere else, and then we get us a good coach.
Yeah.
If I want the coach going.
Yeah. I mean, just to throw it out there to close this podcast, this episode, and the coaching talk. Obviously, I mean, if you're going to talk coaches, Rhett Lashley is the number one on the list, I think, for the fan base, because he's an Arkansas guy. SMU just went to the playoffs.
I don't know. I think I
think you're crazy.
The whole Paul Feinbaum thing has soured a lot of people on Rhett Lashley.
I haven't even watched.
Well, so Paul accused Rhett Lashley of trying to actively get Sam Pittman fired to get the job.
I thought that was like a joke that people was talking about.
No, I mean, he was reporting it as a fact. Now, Rhett Lashley, of course, denied it. And, he tries to big time like SMU is the be-all, the end-all in college football. But
that's what's crazy to me is people's like, well, why would he leave SMU? They got money, but you got to coach at SMU.
Right.
You're not, it's
I'll
not
tell you the
Razorbacks.
thing about Rhett Lashley that scares me is he was a big Gus Malzahn guy. He was Gus's offensive coordinator and all that. And I just saw Gus Malzahn use us so many times to get raises and other jobs that I'm afraid Rhett Lashley is just doing the same thing. I don't trust him. He was an Arkansas quarterback under Houston Nutt and Gus Malzahn and all that. And but he never played. He never got on the field. He's a good coach. I liked him. Thought he would be. Last year, I was like, hey, man, this would be a good candidate. This year, I don't know if I'd be on board for that.
I mean, I am simply because, this is a guy who's turned SMU into a playoff contending team, leading them to a conference championship and 2 10-plus win seasons. He's only been there 3 seasons as a head coach. He was the offensive coordinator before then, but he's an Arkansas native from Springdale. He was the offensive coordinator for Arkansas State in 2012, helping the Red Wolves to win the SBC championship. And quarterback Ryan Applin, who, I've been to quite a few Red Wolf games, and we've got a picture with
I'm
Ryan
a big
Applin
Ryan
on
Applin fan,
the field.
Always like Ryan Applin.
He's got a bunch of records for him.
What'd you say, Ryan? Is Applin, is he coach with him, or is he?
I don't
you're
think
saying
so.
He's a candidate?
Yeah,
No.
he was the. No. I'm not saying Ryan Applin's a candidate at all.
Oh.
I'm saying he was the coach for Ryan Applin. He was the quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah, under Gus at A-State.
Yeah, so and he was on staff for Auburn's 2010 national
he's a good
championship.
coach. I agree with you. He's a good coach.
I don't know if you ever heard of Cam Newton, but that was a pretty good quarterback. What I'm saying, and he's a good quarterback's coach. Mitch Mustang, he was the Springdale coach when he was there. What gets me the most is I don't want to lose another chance at an opportunity to have an Arkansas guy like, I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, second greatest coach of all time, Paul Bear Bryant. I don't want to lose the opportunity to have an Arkansas coach who's going to go be one of the greatest of all time. He was born in Cleveland County.
Bear Bryant was supposed to leave Kentucky and go to Arkansas to be the head coach. Something happened. He wound up going to Texas A&M. And then on to Alabama.
Yeah. Well, he went to university. He went to school at Alabama.
Right. Alabama was his dream job anyways. I understand. There's been a lot of great Arkansas guys that went on to never coach at Arkansas and have a lot of success. You think of Jimmy Johnson with the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Hurricanes.
Played for us, though.
You think of Barry Switzer, who was a part of the Arkansas system for a while.
Not as good, but Eli Drinkwitz is. I mean, he's doing okay from Missouri.
He is, man. That's a guy
Owns us.
I don't know how I'd feel about Eli. Like,
I don't want him to be. Honest. He's
if
a nerd.
he come to if we hired him, I mean, I'm sure I would get on board with him. But man, that is an unlikable guy.
Mm-hmm.
I hated Coach Cal.
We better not talk about Drinkwitz because he calls out podcasters. He might be watching this. We love
it. Dinky Wits.
Yeah.
Look, I hated Coach Cal, but I hated Coach Cal because I respected him so much. He was so good. It's different with Dinky Wits.
Yeah, he's just a nerd. I mean,
he's a geek, man.
Doesn't get you excited.
Never. I don't think he ever played a down of football. But I tell you where I am. I've come full circle. I'm back on the. If we ever, hopefully not in this season, but when I almost said, when we get around to hiring another coach, I'm back to let's bring Bobby Petrino back. We live in an age where players get paid, and they're professional athletes, and they've got, the quarterbacks are driving Ferraris and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the
Bobby
University
Petrino
of
back as a
Miami's
head coach.
parking lot at their football? It's crazy.
Yeah, so
yeah. I'd be for.
I don't want to hear
Petrino.
none of this high and mighty mess, about rules and this and that. There ain't no rules anymore in college football. If he can be our offensive coordinator, he ought to be able to be our head coach.
I'm for that too.
So,
I like Travis.
So that's
Williams.
the only name. Yeah.
And I think
do like T.
I'm
Will,
nervous
but
that
I think
he's going to take a head coaching job here soon.
I hope he does. I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for his family. Seems like a wonderful dude.
Yeah. But yeah.
But
give us
guys
Petrino.
like that. They need to go to like. If Rhett Lashley came to Arkansas, then T will be a good fit at SMU. Go to a lower school, prove that you can win. I didn't like the Sam Pittman hired.
Yeah.
He had never coached before. I think Arkansas is to the level where we ought to be able to hire a proven, great coach. So.
I feel like we proved that hiring the greatest basketball coach alive. Well,
so, yeah.
one of.
Well, let's hire Nick Saban. Crazier things have happened. We hired John Calipari. Maybe we can hire Nick Saban.
I promise you right now, if them billionaires in Bentonville got together, there's a dollar sign that Nick Saban would come back to us.
I think this has to be the longest podcast in history.
I don't think we've even came close to our longest podcast.
Really?
I don't think so. We haven't even crossed an hour mark, so we've done pretty good. But we're going to go ahead and close this one out and get on to our pick'ems. I think that one's probably going to be a little bit longer than this one.
It better not be. No, we're going fast on that.
So, yeah. Guys, I mean, so excited for the college football season to start. We're high on the Hogs every year. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I've been your host, Sar Dillinger, alongside my dad co-host, John Dillinger. And as always,
brought to you by Shelter Insurance, Dillinger Insurance Agency in Arkansas, Harrisburg, Arkansas. Licensed in Arkansas, Tennessee, and Missouri. Life, auto, home, farm, commercial, big truck insurance. I ride a lot of commercial trucks, so if you need insurance, holler at me, 870-578-5900.
That'll help us keep the lights on. We'd appreciate it greatly. So just, guys, be excited. Football season's back, and we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Pig.
Let's go. Go Hogs, Woo Pig Suey.
Jesus saves.
Amen.